right, thanks for being here today. This is Prepare to Us bread video. In an emergency or even when you want some fresh bread, this is a really exciting recipe because it only takes 4 ingredients, 4 super shelf-worthy ingredients, and you only have to stir it. You don't need any mixer at all. It's an artisan bread. You can cook it in bread pans. You can also cook it in some sort of casserole dish with a lid, or you could be super ambitious and cook it in a Dutch oven on a fire. This is a great bread for emergencies or just for getting together. It's delicious. And I tried 2 different recipes and then created my own recipe that's super easy to remember. I messed up on the recipes, and so this is literally a fail-safe recipe that we have here. Here's my bowl. I'm just gonna get white flour. This is 2 cups. So I'm gonna get my 6 cups of flour. So that's 2, 4. So look, super wet and kind of lumpy a little bit, but you know what? I guess I'm not really gonna worry about it. So here we are, it is 14 hours later. Our dough resembles pancake batter, so it might be too runny. Okay, I have to say I'm completely shocked that these turned out. I have this little thermometer I just learned you can use. Bread at 190 is done, but this was kind of a wet dough, so I put it at 196. What in the world? It turned out! I am shocked. My dear friend, I'm sorry I ever doubted you who gave me the recipe. So, look, these cute little loaves, they were a mess. Remember I just kind of slopped them in here? They just turned out to be these nice, cute little easy loaves with no kneading or anything. And there is this water, this cookie sheet of water that I put in there. And that is with all artisan type breads, which is what we're making. It just helps it keep a little more moist and soft. But you can do it without. That is totally fine. Let's dump these out and see how they look. Oh, pretty white on the bottom. Maybe I should have cooked them for long. I'm doing this, but I'm going to show you the texture of this bread. It's super soft. See that? Has a hard shell surface. It makes it a little challenging to cut, but we are freaking out because it tastes so good. Feast. Ethan, what do you think of that bread?
Awesome.
Okay, so my cousin lives in New York, New Jersey, but when COVID hit really hard there, she couldn't go anywhere. They couldn't go anywhere for weeks, and the grocery service was out like 10 days. Like if you ordered groceries, you had to wait 10 days. So she was texting my sister and I saying, what do I make with beans and tomato sauce? Because we are out of ideas. So if she had this wheat or this white bread recipe, it might have saved her if she would have had a bunch, just a couple easy ingredients on hand. So what we do here is we're first gonna get our flour. We need 6.5 cups. So this is a 2-cupper. So we're gonna do 2, 4, 6 and a half. We've let our dough rise for about 3 hours. I think we would have been fine at 2 hours, but I was busy. So this is pretty sticky still. Sticks to my hand, see that? I'm just gonna hours since I let these guys rise. So they're looking beautiful. This time I'm not going to put any water. Okay, we're back here making bread. Since we discovered that you can pretty much do anything you want with this recipe and it will turn out, I decided I would do one last experiment to see if we could find a ingredient list that was super easy to remember. So we're gonna do a 6 cups flour, 3 cups water, 1 tablespoon salt, and 1 tablespoon yeast. So super easy. And I'm also experimenting, and I have 6 cups of wheat flour here that I just actually barely ground, because as some of you may have a bunch of wheat and some of you may be wanting to get some and not know what to do with it, this would be a really easy way to deal with it. Also, I have experimented. You can grind your wheat in a blender. Just a normal Walmart blender. I bought a $30 blender. It does kind of scratch the sides up a little bit eventually, so they're not like perfect anymore if it's plastic. But we ground wheat forever in our blenders until I finally got a wheat grinder. So anyway, so here we go. Already we have 6 cups of wheat flour in there. So we're gonna do our 6 cups of white flour in this one. To do our tablespoon of salt in each one. In fact, the wheat, I probably shouldn't add the whole tablespoon. Wheat still has a lot of its nutrients in it. White flour, it's all taken out of it. And one of the nutrients it has in it is a natural source of sodium. So anyways, there's the yeast. The warmer the water, better actually, because it does rise faster. You can raise this from 2 hours to 24 hours. So you can actually just set it overnight. That's what a lot of people do. So this is my 3 cups of warm water. There we go. These are gonna turn out kind of different. I can already tell. This one's just so fluffy with the white flour in it. And again, we kind of changed the ratio of water and flour, so it's a little more dry than that initial recipe I got for you. But we can still just stir it up. We can actually, ooh, that was almost crazy. You can put it on the counter and do a little bit of like, kind of like a kneading thing. You could do this if you wanted to. We're going to let them rise, and in 3 hours, we're going to come back and see how much they've grown. So let's see compared to each other. Can you see they're similar. So we'll see if one rises more than the other or not, and go. Hey, it's exactly 3 hours later. I think our warm water did a really good job because these raised a ton. That's the wheat flour one, and this is the white flour. Looks like the white flour raised a little bit more, but I'm pretty happy with all these, how these raised. So we let these rise a little bit too long, and I had my little kids split them up. So this is the wheat flour. Looks like it turned out kind of flat, so that'll be interesting to see how they taste. They might be just fine. So these are the ones my kids separated, so they're not exactly equal loaves, but they look pretty. All right, I hope you're excited to make some bread now. One fun thing that I would like to end with is that you can make 48 loaves of bread. So the recipe calls for 2 loaves of bread, so you'd be making the recipe 24 times. And this is all the ingredients you need. You need 9 gallons, so 2 of your blue 5-gallon water jugs, or these are 2.5 gallons apiece. 3 25-pound bags of flour, 3 cups of salt, and 3 cups of yeast. And if you go to Costco today and you buy these ingredients, it is $29, including tax. So that would be 60 cents a loaf. So this is a super easy way to be able to have lots of loaves of bread if you would like it. So I'm excited for you, and we're excited about next video, which is going to be 3 months worth of recipes for your 3 months worth of pantry ingredients. Till next time.